When you are starting to grow, did you start with 10 acres or what? The farmers we are growing with, everyone has a small portion, but when we grow together, it becomes a big thing. The more farmers we have, the more we harvest. So if you're there and you're a farmer, do not get scared. You can grow on your small portion. For example, our farmers, one can harvest 10 basins and they will bring it. And then another will have 20 basins, another will have 100 basins. Even there are those who have grown one basin or two. You can start with what you have, and then you can grow together with other farmers. When you bring what you have produced and the other brings what they have produced, together we produce more. What are some of the mistakes that farmers are making which is causing the market to fluctuate? One of the biggest mistakes is lying. Lack of integrity is a mistake. Because if they ask you, when did you last spray? And then you lie and you tell us, I sprayed yesterday, when you have sprayed today. And then we take your crops and then they check and then find that it still has chemicals. But if we, the farmers, we are honest and you say the exact thing which you did in your garden, then we shall progress as farmers and then we shall make more money. And then the market outside will increase because they will be knowing that in Uganda we produce good pepper. Then we shall get more people who are demanding to get supplied our pepper. In turn, it will increase how much we are earning. What are some of the things that you have benefited from growing pepper? 30 years that I've grown pepper. When I began to grow my first garden, I didn't even have a bicycle. That starting garden was half an acre. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a bicycle. I would walk on foot, then go and start to grow. I didn't even have workers. I had to work with my wife. Together we would grow, we would dig, we would take care of the garden. In that first garden, the box of pepper, we would sell it at 2,000. Which year was that? That was about 1999. So I began. From there, I enjoyed a lot because that small garden, I made money. And the money I made, I decided to connect electricity in my house. And then I also purchased a bicycle. Who interested you to start growing pepper? That was my brother. My brother had begun doing this job a long time ago. He was a supplier. He used to supply London fruits of the late Nkata. But when my brother died, he became an inspiration to me. I asked myself, why don't I just grow pepper? At that time, I was about 30 years, because right now I'm 55 years. So we went with my wife, we began to grow. That is after my brother died. So they began growing together with the brother, but then after the brother died, for him, he continued alone. Now, in that first garden, we would harvest twice. We would harvest on Monday, 50 boxes. And then we would harvest again on Friday and harvest 30 boxes. So in the week, we would harvest 80 boxes. And then they would pay us 2,000 per box and we got money. So from there, the next time, I decided to grow a bigger garden. That garden was 2 acres. So when I started to harvest, I was harvesting 200 boxes. I started to get workers who helped me, but I would plant it myself. For me, the biggest thing is I make sure I plant myself, because I want to make sure that my seed has been planted well, because you can hire someone to do it and they don't do it well. So I only hire people who dig for me the holes, but I do the planting myself. And then I make sure it's the roots will get firmly rooted in the ground. Now, God was so good to me that next garden really was very successful. Still added some other farmers, because when my brother died, he used to have farmers that he would buy pepper from. So I continued to buy their pepper. So we began to supply the company. In my own plantation, I would get 50 boxes. And then the other farmers together, they would produce 100 boxes. So we would supply 150 boxes to the company. So in that garden, next garden, I would harvest 200 boxes. And then I would go to other farmers and also pick their pepper too. But having records is very good. Recording is so good. Writing down, have I harvested? I've bought this chemical. How much have I bought it? I've sprayed this day. How many jerrycans of liters have I sprayed? I've harvested this much. I've sold at this much. I've made this much. I started to make records on the 2-acre garden. That's when I started to take records of what is going on in my garden. Now, the other advantage I got is during that time, pepper prices were raised to 5,000 from 2,000 per box. Now, from that second plantation, me who was driving a bicycle, I benefited from it. I made a profit of 8 million. Now, from that 8 million, I bought a car. I bought a pickup Toyota. I bought it 2.5 million. And then I remained with 5.5 million. That's when I felt like I have entered growing pepper. I was so happy because I grew and then I made money. The motorcycle that I used to collect pepper from other farmers, I used to hire it. Now the person who used to collect 200 boxes, now I started collecting 500 boxes. And that car which I bought, Toyota, it was second hand. I drove it for 3 years and I kept telling myself I have to drive a new car from the bond. Then eventually I went and bought a Toyota Town Ace from the bond. Now me who used to take 150 boxes, I started taking 250 boxes. And even the farmers I'm working with started to grow. I got farmers in Kalangala, farmers in Rakai, farmers in Liantonde, and I started to get known. Now I even have farmers who are in Chenjojo, and we communicate only on phone. I get pepper from Hoima and we communicate only on phone. They tell me, oh, how many boxes have you harvested? I've harvested 150. And they put them on the bus and they are sent. I worked a lot with Mr. Nkata, the late Mr. Nkata. He really taught me what this business of pepper is like. How do you manage it? Until he left us and died. Now, when Mr. Nkata died, that's when I started working with iSmark. I have farmers who approach 70 farmers. Each farmer has their own garden. I go there together with a company that I supply pepper, and then we train these farmers. And then I also work together with the Ministry of Agriculture. They will come and train us so that we can do a good job. That's how we do this business. For me, I advise people, this crop pepper has money if you do it as a job. Don't get scared. Don't lose hope. Just declare that this is what I'm going to benefit from. I started renting here in Mitala Maria. Now I have my own rentals. I have a home in Masaka which I have built. I have plots of land. I have rentals. I have a car. I even have another car which I use when I'm not working. I have so far about 7 cars. I buy and I sell it off, then I buy a better one, I sell it off. And I no longer buy anywhere. I buy my car straight from the bond. I want to be the first one to drive it here in Uganda when it comes.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, so you worked for it. Thank you so much for giving us this time. Thank you for doing this job. And for anyone who is watching, please be encouraged. One of the good things God gave us in Uganda is our land. Our land is very fertile, and if you have land, you have every reason not to be poor. You can utilize that land to grow something that will bring an income. And also we thank people like Mr. Mubi who have worked along, who have trained other farmers and helped them also to get out of poverty by helping them to learn how to do this job together. And he has, on top of that, he has also been able to employ some others as he's doing this job. So as you do utilize your land, as you join this job, you create work for yourself and an income, and work for someone else. Now, Mr. Mubi, even as we conclude today's video, could you please give our viewers any last parting remarks? And even to those who are watching who want to help Ugandans and they are not farmers, how can they help them? Anyone can help us. We really need your help. If you are helping us, we wouldn't be like this. Get us medication that can give us medication that can help our crops. Give us acceptable medication that we can use to spray our crops, that when our crops go in other countries, it's not poisonous. This will help us to raise the standard of our crops and to do our job well. Now, for Ugandans, do not look down on yourself. Whatever you choose to do it with courage. Do it with determination that I'm going to benefit in this. Because when you are determined, you will do it with all that you can, and then you will get. But when you do it doubtedly, wondering whether you'll make a profit or not, then most likely you won't. Thank you so much for visiting us. Please get some time and come back and visit our other farmers. Maybe you can visit the ones of Gomba, because Gomba is very close, unlike Sese Island. So we can visit the farmers in Gomba. Thank you for taking off the time to come and visit us today. So this was the end of our chili episode. Next time, it's going to be the start of hot pepper episodes.